Welcome to the Four Brewers Podcast. My name is John Holzer, and as always, I'm joined by...
Coming at you from the hell world, it's Jason Harris.
It's Greg Nagel. Hep.
And Joseph O. Senegalia. I figure Irish beers, it's O, right? We all have O names?
Yeah.
John O. Holzer.
Nagel.
John O. Holzer doesn't work. That's an H and an H after the O thing.
Jason O'Harris.
Maybe it's
The O'Harris clan goes far back here in Cork.
O'Hara.
See?
I guess that works, but not
Yeah.
O. Holzer. O. Holzer. This week on the show we are doing Guinness beers. They did a beer in collaboration with
I got blown up on
Brooklyn.
Brewing called Fonio Stout, which we'll get into later. But that's what
Fonio?
inspired this show. So we're doing Guinness Draft Stout or Draught Stout, however you want to say that. Guinness and then Guinness Extra Stout, and then the Fonio Stout. So.
Plus, for the people who are listening on the podcast feed and not live, it's probably almost St. Patrick's Day.
I was going to say, did we fumble the bag by not doing this as like a St. Patrick's Day show?
It's almost St. Patrick's Day. This will be up. By the time this is out, it'll be in like 2 weeks.
When is St. Patrick's Day?
But the 15th of next month.
Oh, is it?
The
Okay.
17th.
The 15th? What are you talking about? 17th.
Yeah.
I usually accidentally celebrate St. Patrick's Day. I'm never going out to celebrate it, but somehow I always find myself...
You don't go out.
Bro, you don't
at
go
a
anywhere.
place.
Yeah.
Greg's looks better. The rounded glass helps.
Mine is still doing its thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and split the R on my radiant glass.
Oh, that's a thing, right? Like you split the G, like you're supposed to take one big sip or some shit.
Yeah. If you
Some
nail
guy-
it
So where
right on
does
top
it
of
have
G.
has to end up on top of the
So if you have an actual Guinness glass, there's like, when you write a G and there's like that shelf in the middle of the letter.
Yeah.
And if you take your first swig and it lands right on the top of that, it's called split the G.
Oh. Well, I'm using and this is a good reason why you don't want to use black for your glassware. Anyone can see what brewery that is? No, because it's fucking black. That's why I use white. So
You're drinking the wrong beer, John.
exactly. It's a Bergen glass, so it should only have
Johnny
IPA in
O'Holzer.
it, I guess.
Yeah, if you got a hazy boy in there, that black will show right up.
Have any of you guys ever split the G?
I literally saw somebody mention it on Blue Sky like a month ago, and I'm like, hey, dumb question. I'm not from fucking Europe. What does this mean? Yeah, it's apparently.
Oh my God. It's crazy because they're selling way more Guinness than they ever have because of that stupid thing.
Wow.
And,
okay.
people trying to split the G. It's some genius.
You
marketer
could
was
take
like,
a Guinness glass and fill it with water and try to do
split the G.
Still looking for the
What's
G,
the
Greg.
No, you can't.
Do we need
They
Guinness in the glass?
They would
Like
kick you out of the pub.
Like thereabouts? Is that about how?
I don't know.
I don't
For
have
me,
a G.
it's pretty far down actually on a Guinness glass. It's like a swig and a half. Like it's a pretty big gulp.
Yeah, it was. I had to take 2 big gulps to get that much beer out of there.
All right,
And I've got a large mouth, ladies.
Dude,
I loved how the camera moved when you did that.
Yeah. It was like it tipped the hat of my camera.
My lady.
dude, by the way, am I the only one that like really likes Guinness? And every time I drink it, I'm like, how come I don't drink this more often? I never drink it, and I like it.
That's like everybody. Like
It's
most
weird,
people,
right?
I think that's like the default. Everyone is like, Guinness is the go-to. It's great. It's fine, man. I don't love stouts.
But why don't I drink it more often? Like every time I have it, I'm like, I like this.
Because it's
'Cause
not
it's
hoppy.
Light beer.
I'd rather have a beer with hops.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Yeah, I mean, after you go to Ireland and you drive around there for a couple weeks.
Oh,
and
here it goes again with the fucking Ireland.
and then you come home and then you're like, all right, I need to drink more fucking Guinness because it's delicious. And it does taste better there. I don't know what the deal is, but maybe they just go through more of it where the kegs are fresher or something. But
It's the water.
Yeah, it's the water.
They piss in the stuff they sell to Americans. That's what I heard.
And,
So my uncle told
that's right.
me.
Yeah, I also kind of tangentially related to the show, International Stout Day, because we do have beer holidays still, is on November 6th this year, and that was actually started by Aaron
Beer goddess.
Peters, right?
Correct.
Same
Yeah,
right
she
name?
passed
She
away,
recently
sadly.
passed away, so.
She did?
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to
She
say.
had cancer for many, many years.
Oh, that sucks.
She fought it. Yeah. She's great. Good people.
Not to bring the show down, I just thought that was worth mentioning, because I think Guinness flew her out there to their main place a couple times.
Right?
And I'm like, I want to go to
because
Guinness.
of that Stout Day. I mean, fuck yeah.
Ireland. You
got to go, man.
John would
Let's
be
do
the
a
only
show
one
in
who gets
Ireland.
Is that a Sal joke?
That. It is. Yeah. Ireland.
Yeah, when I was there wasn't really any like craft breweries and stuff like that. So it was like you drink Guinness or like Carlsberg was on a lot of taps. And like if you wanted some import, it was like seriously Miller High Life.
All right.
And I was like, on like the icy taps, it was insane.
That was their imported beer, Miller High Life.
Yeah. I'm like, what's
the food scene in Ireland there, Greg?
I mean, in 2010, like God, that's 15 years ago. Depends on what sort of like Mexico. Like if you're driving around Mexico, there's like different cuisines and stuff like that. But in Ireland, if you're in bigger cities, you're eating pretty much everything you can get here.
Yeah.
But like if you're on the like the rural coastal areas of like the west coast of Ireland, which is my favorite spots, it's like really hearty pub grub sandwiches, shepherd's pie, that sort of stuff.
I want to say
figured it was
it's
like meat and potatoes.
In my head, it's all
a
food
lot of
that's
seafood.
bad for you. I don't know why I think that. Like it,
but nobody's fat, so I don't know.
That's probably because when you go to an Irish pub here, dude, everything's like fried food and
maybe
Scotch
that's what I'm
eggs
thinking.
and-
Yeah.
There's a lot of good seafood,
Nice.
fish and chips too.
I feel like Irish people wouldn't eat Scotch eggs. Don't they have like a rivalry?
Yeah, they're like, fuck that Scotch egg.
I'm fucking Scottish.
It's a British thing.
So what do we think of Guinness, boys? I think it's a fantastic beer. It's often mischaracterized as being a heavy beer. It's only like 4.1% alcohol. Super low. It's like it's basically a session beer if those were still a thing, because session beers are 4 and under. And
It's a session stout, John.
I may have told the story on the show before, but I remember I was doing at a video game convention. I did a Harry Potter themed pub crawl, and there was a whole thing where you had to chug a drink, and it was like the dark arts, so you had to chug like a dark alcohol or a dark beer. So then I was like chugging Guinness, and everyone was like, "Oh man, you're badass!" And it's the easiest beer to chug. There's no
so easy.
There's no carbonation. It's fucking low alcohol. It's like mildly sweet. Like shit just slides right down. And
Dude,
have you seen those?
Definitely.
people assume it's a heavy beer just because it's really, really dark, and it's actually to the contrary. It's got body to it for sure, but it's nothing near like what you'd get from like a Black Tuesday. Black Tuesday is going to be like
well,
Fucking
inky
20%.
and like just
whenever I revisit,
unctuous.
I don't get Guinness very often, but whenever I revisit it's always I'm always surprised when I remember how drinkable it is. It really is just a beer that you could drink a liter of,
Yeah.
When you're talking about chugging, like there's a video that like people, they try and chug 3 pints of Guinness before a Guinness is poured like properly. Have you seen those?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Yeah, you can chug 3. Well, I mean, people do it. 3 pints of Guinness before a proper Guinness pint is done being like poured. It's insane. That's how
All
drinkable
the
it
nitro is settling out and all that.
Yeah, I feel
Okay.
like I could do that too, dude.
Yeah, I mean, Guinness is such a classic beer. I'm sure we've all had a Guinness before our craft beer days and thought like, wow, this is kind of interesting, But flavor-wise, it's unique because it uses 100% roast barley instead of malted. So
it's
got
very
this, like,
roasty.
coffee vibe to it. They did that back in the 1700s because the Queen of England taxed them on malted barley, and the Irish were like, fuck it, let's just roast it. And that
Wow.
technicality saved them a lot of money. And that's the flavor profile of this dry ass stout.
Has Guinness
it is
ever done
super
like
dry.
coffee variants? Like this beer lends itself to like you could do something with coffee. Have they ever done that?
Don't do it, Guinness. Don't put adjuncts in Guinness.
I'm just wondering.
Yeah. No, I don't think so.
You should try it with like a French press. Put some coffee grounds.
I've some Baileys. I can do an Irish car bomb.
Have the Guinness people ever thought about making one that's like 14% and has like cocoa and maybe some vanilla and like some strawberries in there?
Well, look up, Guinness has a brewery in somewhere around St. Louis or something like that, right? I wonder what they have on tap. Because they did like a nitro IPA a while ago, remember?
Oh, yeah.
Like the golden IPA or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Someone said it was
I
like
bet
terrible
you
though.
They have, it was not good. It tasted
Yeah, I heard it was
old, like on day one.
I heard it was terrible.
Like, I remember it being like a old European IPA, like the old style of European IPA.
Yeah, it's
you
like
know?
a British IPA.
They called it
Yeah.
Nitro IPA. Let's see.
Which
I'm looking on
also
Untappd
just a
here.
bad idea. I remember I had Swami's or a Sculpin on Nitro one time. God, it was dog shit.
It
It
just
has
doesn't seem a hoppy beer feels like it shouldn't be on nitro.
No, it ruins it.
It has Admiral, Celia, Topaz, Challenger, and Cascade hops. So definitely, I mean, I've never heard of Celia hops. Admiral, I think I've had before. Topaz, I've heard of. But Challenger and Cascade, just those two alone just show how dated the beer is, like for what they were going for in the recipe. And
Here's the thing: the Queen put a tax on Citra hops. So
That's exactly right. Historically.
I hereby declare that Citra is played out.
You know, be charged the Queen's tax.
We will eliminate the scourge of Citra from England.
so I might
It'll only be East Kent Goldings from here on out, and Fuggles.
So, this is all roast barley and no malted barley. So, correct me, I don't know. My homebrew brain is going, if there's no malted barley, like, isn't the whole, like, that's how you get the enzymes to do their thing and convert the things, the starches to sugar? Or
Oh, no. So there's regular malted barley in there, obviously to get the
It's got
diastatic conversion.
Yeah.
But to get the color and everything like that, it's just plain. Well, maybe, no, I don't know. I did the whole tour thing 15 years ago, John.
Well, I'm just
maybe
curious.
we can-
you know.
Maybe no, I don't
Maybe-
know.
Well, I think if they roast the regular two-row or whatever it is, it's going to lose a lot of its fermentability, I would assume. It's
Yeah.
not going to be diastatic. Right?
Because when you're malting
Or
barley,
maybe-
you're basically wetting it so it starts to sprout and the endosperm or whatever just starts to do its thing, and then you dry it out to stop the process. And that's
on the
basically.
Yeah. On the other hand, I've had, if you've ever purchased smoked malt before, that's fully diastatic. I once bought like cherry wood smoked malt that was just, you can use 100%. It was,
Well, it's smoked,
know.
right? It's not heated up. It's just in the presence
Yeah,
of smoke.
Maybe they floor malted it like cold.
Mhm.
Smoke
that's
malt
true.
every day.
Jesus Christ.
I don't know.
So,
Let's figure that out. I want to find that out.
The Guinness Brewery in Maryland actually has like a pretty typical tap list that you get at any brewery. Like they have a blonde, an amber, American IPA, a Galaxy IPA, a Citra Pale Ale, a Milk Stout, Winter Warmer, Hazy IPA, Italian Pills, Dark Mild, English Barley Wine.
Maybe the Guinness Blonde is what I'm thinking of that someone said was absolutely horrible.
That was one they distributed for a little while.
Yeah,
It was like Guinness Gold or some shit.
Yeah, whatever it was.
No, it's called Guinness. No, wait, no. Guinness
Like Guinness.
Blonde IPA?
Just
that-
play the hits, Guinness. Just give us Guinness.
So, if you
Oh,
look at
Jason, you
homebrew
made
recipe-
a Citra. Sorry, Greg. You made a Citra joke
yeah.
about the Queen, and this Guinness Blonde IPA is called Open Gate Citra IPA. So fuck the Queen.
There you go.
Because that's brewed in America. Not...
I don't know. It's got a 3.3 on Untapped. Okay, go ahead, Greg.
Okay, so a recipe for a Guinness Draught clone is for like a 5-gallon batch is like 5 pounds of English two-row,
There you go.
2.5 pounds of flaked barley, 1 pound of roast barley to give it the color and stuff like that. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they use the roast barley to cut
Yeah.
into that and make it feel like a bigger beer.
I was going to say to offset the taxed malted barley.
And all this time in my head, I thought they were saying "fuck you" to the Queen, but they're still buying 5 pounds
They might still be
Per-
saying that. You never know.
gallon.
Science
For
is
5
science.
gallons.
Well, not anymore because the Queen's dead.
Oh,
Well,
dang. Okay.
So they're like, well, fuck her. She's dead.
Fuck the king.
Long
yeah.
live the king.
You can also use Maris Otter.
That's probably the better one to use. Get a little more.
Yeah, a little more full.
Yeah. No, this is really good. I mean, there's not really much I can say about it. It's got the roastiness and it's roasty, not smoky at all. So, but not to where it's like acrid. That's why another reason why it's a chuggable beer is just because it's sounds cliche, but it's very smooth drinking and like easy to drink.
What do you guys think of the ester profile? I've always think that's kind of interesting. Like on the nose, it's not just a stout. There's like a plum bread sort of vibe to it, like a sticky toffee pudding almost.
Yeah, like a syrupy kind of quality.
It smells like baked goods, you know?
Yeah.
To me, this tastes like the big thing with stouts, especially like your modern American stout, is they are so much designed for a palate that wants sweet. Like most stouts that you get anymore are designed to just be sugar.
Mm-hmm.
And Guinness is not that. This is not a sweet beer. It is very drinkable. It is a very beer flavored beer. It does lean in a little bit of coffee flavor, but we're talking like regular coffee, not like Starbucks, not like a
espresso,
3 pumps
little
of syrup
espresso
with whipped cream. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to open the NA and keep some of the regular so I can compare the two.
The cool thing about Guinness is it tastes the exact same no matter where you buy it from and when you have it. Like that's the rad thing about this beer. Like you have Guinness, you've had it. Like I don't know. I appreciate that.
I'm excited to do the side by side on all these, honestly. I've had them all individually.
You've had the NA one?
I've had the NA, not the Fonio though.
I've never had the NA.
Fonio.
Oh, this thing is.
I mean, it
blowing
pours
up.
identical.
Mine exploded a little bit.
Yeah,
Mine did too, dude.
Yeah,
Guinness NA is one of the best non-alcoholic beers I've ever had. It's really
The
good.
because you can cover up.
The macros have nailed NA, and I don't know what they're doing that everyone else isn't doing, but they're like head and shoulders better.
Look at that.
Apparently,
It looks the
the new thing to do is there's a yeast that will still, I think I have this right. It'll still convert the sugars, but it doesn't convert them into ethanol. But it still ferments. I forgot what it converts them to. I think that's what most of these places are doing now.
I feel like the NA nose smells way more coffee than the normal Guinness.
I'm still trying to figure out the nose on this.
It's like
It's
almost
totally
like,
different.
like burnt, kind of smoky something.
You get that same lingery head too.
Mine almost smells like campfirey.
Yeah, I get like a slight s'mores vibe.
Yeah, it's like a.
There's a bit more of an
like
acrid kind of
like a charred
on
something.
the nose.
Yeah, ashtray-ish.
Ooh, there you
It's
go.
like
Yeah,
it's like you burnt s'mores, and then you still were like, all right, I'm going to eat that marshmallow that's still fucking burnt.
It doesn't smell like syrupy or candied kind of vibe on like the regular Guinness does. It's more, for me, it's more subdued and I guess campfire is a good word.
What's up, dude?
So, you know what's funny? When I bought these 4-packs, I was like, oh, I'm going to do a blind video of this on my YouTube channel. There, you can tell it's so easy.
But for
There's
NA, though,
I mean, I'm just saying, like having these side by side right now, there's a pretty good like discernibility. Is that the right word?
Difference, you mean?
What's the word?
it's a good discernibility.
Discernibility?
This one has a different kind of sweetness on it. It's like it's, I don't know, the first thing that popped in my head was like it has a processed sweetness to it, where this has like the regular Guinness has I don't know, like I don't want to say natural sweet, but I don't know what I'm trying to say. Like it
Natural juices.
The regular Guinness has a bit more of a bitter, like dark chocolate kind of bite to it, like that.
Yeah.
Like when you buy the good dark chocolate, it's got that kind of bitter finish. Where the NA finish is more just kind of sweet, like the cheaper chocolate.
You
The
kind of
regular
nailed it. Yeah, it has that. The regular Guinness has that dark chocolate taste to it, where this
Yeah, more baked goods, too.
doesn't.
The regular Guinness too, the mouth feels a little creamier than the NA one.
Mm-hmm.
Does that seem right to you? Like the NA one feels a bit like thinner, maybe.
Yes, definitely.
It's more aqueous. Yeah, more
Oh,
aqueous.
geez, I don't even know what that means.
It's watery.
Yeah.
Yeah, watery, but not watery. It's a little bit thinner on the body for sure.
You can just tell body wise.
And also a little bit like sharper too. I think the flavors, like, it's like comparing sharp cheddar to like extra sharp cheddar. You know, there's a difference in the sharpness of it. I think you can detect that as well.
I think this would be. I think I'd rather chug the regular Guinness over this. This has a different thing going on.
I will say though, if I wasn't drinking them side by side, I think they're pretty damn close.
Yeah,
I feel like I'm kind of picking nits to find the differences, and like in general, it tastes. If you like regular Guinness, you'll like NA Guinness.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I was going to say, this is my first ever non-alcoholic beer. So if I decided to someday not drink beer, like I'd be stoked drinking this if I wanted. Like, oh, I feel like having a stout from my beer drinking days. Like I'd be fine with this beer.
Yeah.
I've been drinking Bud Zeros during the week.
Yeah?
Lot more. Yeah.
How's that life?
I mean, they taste like a macro lager. They're pretty good.
All right.
They're not bad.
Does it have that weird taste you can often get from NA beers? You know what I mean? That's like they get a common
Funk.
flavor profile.
No, that warty thing that they always get. Like, that's the thing. The macros have figured out how to avoid that, and all the craft ones are still, like, warty as hell. They just taste like unfermented beer.
Yeah, I wonder if they de-alkalize regular Guinness or if they're brewing a special batch for it. I wonder if there's any info.
Because it is notable that they're advertising these as 0% and not where most NA beer is like low
0.02.
Yeah, it's like low but not no alcohol.
No, this says less than 0.5%, so it's the same as all the other ones where it's got a little tiny bit.
How do they advertise it as Guinness 0.0?
It's not 0.0, it's just Guinness 0.
What the fuck?
It's got a 0 inside of 0, but it doesn't say
stands for
0.0.
zero fun, Jason. Guinness Zero Fun. You drink this and it's just not as fun.
Malt beverage. Yeah. It's kind of a cool beverage, honestly. Like, if you're out, like, you know, if you're the DD or something and you're drinking one of these, people aren't going to give you shit. Like,
no.
Oh, you're having a non-alcoholic beer, huh? No, I don't know. My friends are dicks.
And I'll say Guinness is one of the few brewers who put the serving facts on the cans, and I think on non-alcoholic beer you have to have the calories and stuff because it's a different category.
Yeah, it's like a food product.
Yeah, but they also put it on their regular Guinness, and this is like half the calories of a regular Guinness, 60 calories.
And yet they still card me when I buy it.
Yeah, it says 21 plus on the side.
You have to be 21 to buy these. It's crazy. It says it right at the store.
It has alcohol in it. Like it's
just because they scan it into their computer like beer, and they don't know the difference. They're like,
I'm saying the store that I bought this from,
beer.
There was a sign that said "must be 21 to purchase." So
I think it says it on the can too.
Does it?
You know what's interesting is the can doesn't mention beer or stout anywhere on it.
Just says Draught.
Oh yeah, 21. There you go.
21 plus.
Although,
except in USVI, wherever that is, and Puerto Rico, where it's 18 plus.
Although with Guinness, at least the Guinness Draught versus the Guinness Stout is actually two different beers, right? So maybe that's why, because we have the Guinness Stout, and they make a point when you look it up on Untappd, it's like, this is not Guinness Draught. It's a different beer.
Totally different beer.
Yeah.
I think
totally different recipe.
I might contradict myself later when we open this, but I think I prefer the extra stout over regular Guinness.
You're about to find out, John.
We'll get there.
I think we should open it right now. So, any more thoughts on the Guinness NA? I mean, I think we all agree it's
a good beer, dude.
When trying it side by side, when trying it side by side, you can definitely tell the difference. But I mean,
on its own, I think it would be fine.
You know what though? You can tell the difference, but you know the difference between like beef and Impossible. You know, there's a big difference. You know, with a lot of the stuff. This is pretty damn close.
I don't know, man. Impossible stuff's getting fucking close. Like
the texture is nowhere. It's always way off. The flavor is pretty good, but they're always too soft.
But if I was like 4 pints deep and somebody gave me one of these, I'd be like, well, it's a regular Guinness. You know, after a few.
Would you have an Impossible burger after 4 pints, Greg?
Yeah, fuck yeah. I like Impossible. I'm not dinging Impossible. Impossible's rad, but
I like an Impossible burger just fine, except for they cost more than a regular burger. So I'm not actually vegan, so I just continue to buy regular.
Yeah, fuck that.
Yeah, I'm not going to spend extra if it was the same price.
8-Bit's been going through like this experimentation process, and Beyond Burger makes a thick patty. Like it's literally almost an inch thick, and it's meant to be like a thick burger kind of thing. And they started using those, and it was like, Jesus fucking, like you look at the hamburger and it's like bigger than I can't even. I'm like, what the fuck is it? What are they doing? And then you take a bite, and the whole thing just falls apart, and because they're not putting the condiment. So they changed. We went there yesterday, and now I think they're using the same burgers, but they're doing smash burgers with them. and they
That's a
added
better
a
option.
different seasoning, and they're putting a lot of pepper. Oh, it's so much better. I'm like,
Oh,
thank
nice.
you. Like,
Thick burgers are gross, dude.
I like a thick hamburger, but you're gonna compound that soft texture problem, like the
exactly that does exacerbate or
especially
make it
Beyond is
exaggerated.
worse than Impossible when it comes to that too. The Beyond is a little bit smushy.
All right, so moving on, we are going to drink the extra stout from Guinness. This does not have nitro; it's just carbonated. I'd say it's a completely different beer.
Dude, it smells really similar though.
Now, Greg, you're our Guinness expert. Do you know the difference between extra stout and foreign extra stout, which I don't think we can get anymore?
It's ABV, yeah. So I had FES. They did distribute it here for a number of years, maybe like 2015 or 16 or something like that. But even
I've
then,
had
it was really
for
hard to
sure,
buy.
yeah.
I had it in Ireland and at their pub, and it's a little bit stronger for shipping to Africa or something. I don't know what the deal is with it,
to
but
last the boat ride.
yeah, to last the boat ride to Africa. I thought it was a little bit more pronounced, a little bit like heavier in the body and a little bit thicker, and it's got that big stouty vibe.
I had one in 2011, according to Untapped.
What's the ABV of extra stout?
5.6.
Yeah,
5.6.
extra stout,
Okay.
the one we're drinking, is 5.6. Foreign extra, which is now forbidden, is 7.5.
So okay, yeah,
Oh, wow.
definitely.
So this one has a little bit of a darker head. You probably, I don't know.
What's funny
Yeah, it's
is
got a
this
little
is
khaki head.
at 5.6, it's still like 2% more alcohol than regular Guinness, right?
Yeah,
So
It's
thanks
much.
for the-
it
1.5.
pours darker. It,
yeah.
it
Thanks
looks
for the tip on the bomber too.
It looks like a thicker beer, and the head, obviously not being nitro, it poured with a nice little head, but it kind of fell off on mine already.
Yeah, when you pour it, it's got this like nice, rich, sort of chocolatey, like chocolate. I don't know. It's very tanned. It's not like black or out. It's more of like a dark brown hue. In the glass,
Right.
it just like turns all black.
The nose in this feels muted compared to the nitro base beer.
Really?
To me, like when I'm smelling it, I'm not getting a lot. Maybe it's in a different glass, but
It doesn't smell as sweet. Like it doesn't smell as like baked goody. It smells more roasty to me,
Yeah, same. That's what I was going to say.
and it tastes way more roasty, like much more intense roast.
It's weird how the carbonation like changes the beer so much. Like it
Look at the
doesn't
head on
taste thin. It tastes like a little hollow compared to the nitro beer.
I was gonna say, drinking these side by side, I much prefer Guinness on night with nitro. It just feels better.
opposite.
It's like designed.
Yeah,
I'm the opposite. I
Are you?
really like the CO2 better. In fact,
this feels
when
a little
I made,
prickly to me.
When I made a homebrew Guinness clone, I did it side by side with Guinness, and I liked it better mainly because of CO2. Like, all the same, I think every beer is better on CO2 than nitro. That's my hot take.
Okay.
I do not like nitro.
They should smell better because of like by definition, carbonation brings up flavors through the glass, right? Whereas nitro sort of just like, it's like just because.
This beer though, like the carbonation is pricklier, so it tends to feel more roasty on my tongue. Just because I think it's just I don't know how to like explain what is going on.
This one lingers on your palate like coffee too. Like,
Yeah.
like I'm still tasting it like on my upper palate where it's just kind of lingering. Like again,
feel like
you
it-
just drank
it-
a dark coffee.
I'm saying it feels like it's more bitter, but I think part of that is the prickliness from the CO2, if that makes any sense.
It is, and that's I think why I tend to like CO2 beer is because
Yeah.
it gives it a little bit more bite, and I like a bite in my beer.
And you are going
This
to
beer-
get like acidity from the carbon dioxide. Like it
Okay.
that's actually that is
Carbonic
totally a thing.
acid.
Yeah.
So that's what that's doing. So that's right then. That makes sense to me.
To me, this comes off like a heartier beer, and I don't know who said it. Adding would they ever add coffee to regular Guinness? I think this is what it would taste like.
It feels like that would be that. Huh?
Yeah, it's. I mean, because it's a little more rich. It's like it's fuller, but still, it's not like heavy or anything. I mean, and it tastes better. This is. I stand by what I said. I think this is better than regular Guinness. This is really good.
It feels more impactful flavor wise.
Mm.
But I think I prefer mouthfeel wise nitro for Guinness. Maybe just because I'm used to it.
If I was going to drink in like a bar all night and have 10 of something, I would have the regular one. But if I was going to have one, then I would
Maybe
have
that one?
this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No doubt. Yeah, if you're trying to split the G, you're not doing it with this one. You're going Draught.
I don't have a Guinness glass. I have a Russian River glass, so I split the tree.
There you go.
Split the tree.
So, John, you
So
want
no
to see
one-
something crazy mouthfeel wise? Take a sip of the extra stout and then take a sip of the NA. It's wild how different those are. The NA feels super watery after you drink the extra stout.
Oh yeah, that is.
Isn't that
wow.
crazy?
Yeah.
Do you agree,
It's like
Greg,
a
or not?
palate. Oh yeah, it's like a palate cleanse.
It's wild, huh?
It erases the extra stout
Yeah.
off your palate.
It's like, oh, let me have a glass of water.
No.
I gotta say that extra stout, it has a lingering bitterness though.
It does.
I
Yeah,
can
it hangs
still-
out for quite a while.
It's got a bite to it, dude.
man.
For a 5% beer, it's pretty complex for, some old 1700s, this beer's been around forever, right? And it's almost like liquid history, right?
There's almost like a twinge of like dark fruit something on the extra stout too. Like, I don't know what that is.
Do you think if you took a time machine back to like 1900 in fucking Dublin, and you had a Guinness, would it taste the same?
No, it would not.
No,
Absolutely
'cause
not.
I would say somewhere around the middle 1800s, they figured out how to indirect kiln malts, right? So any malt before then was sort of on the smokier vibe, because they would had a direct kiln, and they also figuring out yeast. I think Louis Pasteur or whatever. When was that? Like the mid 1800s or late 1800s? How to cultivate yeast as a living organism.
Like Guinness is so old. I wonder if the original beer was kind of like wild fermented. You know what I mean?
They would
I
just
imagine
reuse.
They all were kind of like that back then, right?
They would
Yeah.
krausen their beer probably to re-ferment the next batches and just
Mhm.
keep it rolling.
Semi-related, every time I watch a movie and they go to like the olden times in like a city, I just think about how bad it must have smelled.
Oh, that'd be terrible.
I was watching Nosferatu, the new Nosferatu movie, and they're in like
Jesus.
fucking, I don't know, they're in some city in Europe. And like, I'm just like, man, nobody in this movie bathes. Like, this whole place is full of rats and dead bodies. Like, it's gotta stink like shit everywhere.
Isn't it wild, like how for granted we take like showering and brushing our teeth and
Yeah, man.
fuck, crazy. You just do it.
If
You're just
you
used to
went
it.
back to like meet like Abraham Lincoln, you would like
fucking
everybody in
stink,
that room
bro.
would
Like,
fucking
oh,
smell like dog
Jesus
shit.
Christ, yeah.
Could
That's
you
why
imagine
got
just like
shot.
talking to people, like their breath had to just be ass. You know?
Yeah.
Like those
I
dudes
brushed
had
my teeth with some peppermint root.
they had wooden teeth, dude. Like fuck, that had to smell terrible.
We started watching Nosferatu last night, and it got to the part where I think it was Nosferatu, and but I'm like, God, I cannot stand. Fuck, and we turned it off. I gave me a guy to turn on the subtitles, or this guy needs to tone it back a little because okay.
All right, Nosferatu.
Did you like the movie, Jason?
It was all right. Kind of long.
That's what she said. So are we moving on to the Fonio Stout?
Moving on.
Fonio?
Now, I didn't even know what this was until like Joe gave it to me, and Greg was like,
Yeah, I was on the lookout for it because I saw some Garrett Oliver thing. I guess it's like it's a grain that's grown wildly in Africa, and it's sustainable because it grows anywhere, just like on the side of the road, just on its own. And it doesn't require any special watering or pesticides or whatever. So it's highly easy to grow and good for the environment. You don't have to like spray all kinds of shit or stuff like that.
I always wondered if when I saw Garrett Oliver give that talk at the craft beer summit we were at that time, and all I could think about is that he carried around that craft single in his pocket all day so he could.
I'm like, mad respect, dude. Mad
The
respect.
guy's just carrying around one craft single to raise it up during his speech and be like, "This is cheese."
There's a YouTube channel, FLX Beer Reviews. Mike from FLX Beer Reviews is the one who hooked up these beers. That sent
Oh,
them.
sweet. Thanks,
Thanks,
Mike.
Mike.
you.
Thank
Appreciate
you,
you,
Mike.
brah.
And so, if you definitely go look for that video of the Fonio stuff there, I think that's got its own YouTube channel and whatever, and it's got full of some really good information. But the one thing that they never mention is how it fucking tastes.
I will say
it's been killing me.
the nose of this is lacking the roasty thing.
It's
It doesn't-
on the sweeter side, yeah.
Does it not smell roast? It doesn't smell very roasty to me.
I heavy poured mine, so I'm waiting a little bit.
This one is 6.2, so it's not really aligned with any of them, although it's stronger than any of the ones we've had so far. I'm trying to speed read the story of this.
To me, this smells
Take a
like
pause.
regular Guinness.
Does it? It doesn't.
I
smell-
compared the smells to all, and it's the closest with the standard Guinness.
Dude, so my regular Guinness is straight room temperature right now, and it almost has like a Hershey chocolate syrup thing, and I love it. Crazy how sweet it got as it got
Yeah.
super warm.
Yeah, mine's still ice cold, but I heavy poured it, and it's got that like bloody nose, like iron smell to the head.
Bloody nose.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, the heme iron.
Yeah, it's when you like pop, oh no, bloody nose, and like you taste that like iron.
It does actually have kind of that that smell. It really does. That like coppery sort of blood.
Ferrous sulfate, and it tastes a little ferrous sulfate too. I don't know if I just got that in my head, but
It's fruitier. There's like
It
a
is fruitier.
fruitiness to it. Although
Mhm.
it says fruity on the label, so maybe
Does it?
just fucking
Does it really?
deceptioned me. Yeah.
Where does it say that?
Really?
On the back.
bold and lively stout.
It's in like little gold boxes for some fucking reason.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, fruity, roasted, and tropical. What?
It really
Tropical.
does have kind of a fruity element to it, though. It's thinner than either of the other two Guinnesses. Also, there's less body.
Is it Guinness?
Guinness, yeah. I think we may be treading dangerous waters with that one. So I'm gonna go ahead and keep saying Guinnesses. You could say that word, Joe, but I can't say that word.
My last name allows me to say that.
How about that answer?
Hey. By the way, like if someone gave this to you blind, do you think you'd be able to say, "Oh, this is like a Guinness variant"? I don't feel like it tastes Guinnessy to me.
It doesn't taste Guinnessy. It's like kind of its own thing.
It is.
It
It,
tastes-
almost
it
has
tastes
like a.
Genesi.
The other two beers, it does. It has that estery thing that Genesee Cream Ale gets.
Does anyone smell kind of? Gosh, it's not like intense, but like a little bit of like black licoricey thing.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty telltale to regular Guinness for me as well as that licorice. But God, the finish gets off this like sort of coconut vibe.
I was gonna say this tastes more like a candy bar than like any of the Guinnesses we've had so far.
It does have kind of that like Snickers bar, or not Snickers, like a Heath bar somehow.
Oh, that
Ooh,
toffee?
Heath bars were
Yeah,
my
that
favorite,
toffee
dude.
kind of flavor.
Yeah, I'm a big Heath bar guy.
Dude, the other one, Score bars, were similar to Heath bars.
Score. Yeah,
Ooh,
yeah, but that's the Scandinavian version, right?
Those are fucking the goat.
You guys want to get some wisdom on this recipe from Peter
Yeah.
Weens, the brewmaster of Guinness?
Let's do it.
We took a typical stout recipe. We have the base malt, we have some caramel malt, we have some roasted barley, and a little bit of chocolate malt. But we subbed out some of that base malt for 15% of the Fonio. Thank you for that.
Slow
Right.
clap.
Yeah. Oh, you got a typical stout recipe. Oh, okay. Thank you.
We're gonna brew this with Fonio. I'm gonna grow in my backyard. Overall, like
It is notable though that it's only 15% of the malt bill, and the flavor is that different on
Yeah.
a completely
Oh, right.
malt forward beer.
yeah, they probably had to dial up. Imagine if they did like 100% and or like with the chocolate additions and stuff like that. I'd imagine it'd be like just a fruit bomb.
They also mention it's a very long, very like PR written article, but they mention that Guinness, when they first started making beer in Africa, apparently they brewed in Africa like 100 years ago. They were using sorghum because it was
Yeah, they couldn't
they could
source.
source it locally. Yeah, which has got to taste weird because I've had some sorghum beers and they're not good.
No.
I don't think I've ever had a sorghum beer.
It's bad. Like if you get gluten-free beer, it's one of the things that they tend to use. And
Never had a G-free beer.
You can't split the G on a G-free beer.
So I think it's a good beer, but it's a little too fruity, a little too, I don't know. It's not lacking the roastiness that I'm getting from the extra stout.
It's a
And-
fun like variant, but it definitely doesn't. I wouldn't be able to say this is Guinness.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
If I was John Guinness, the king of Guinness, and I was trying to decide like what I put on, this feels like something you do like once for an event and like you don't make it again. It's like
I think that's the whole point.
yeah, they're just like, we tried something. It's a fun novelty. It like honestly, considering that it's an ancient grain or whatever, it actually does kind of remind me of those old Dogfish beers. When they used to experiment using all those like ancient ingredients and shit.
Mm-hmm.
It feels kind of like that, where it's one of those things where you're like, it was fun to try. But like, I'll go back to the regular.
Yep.
Like, this is Dogfish 60-minute quinoa. Like, all right. Fucking sweet.
If you go back and try the Guinness Extra Stout next to this, surprisingly, the 5% version has way more body, way more mouthfeel, way more like body, like
I'm telling you,
aroma, presence.
The Extra Stout feels very impactful.
Yeah, totally. It's very punchy.
It's wild.
Extra Stout is so much better than this Fonio. Fonio?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, not the Fonio is not bad. It's. I think it's a delicious beer. I don't think I could drink a pint of it though, because it's just a little too overwhelming.
Well, you've got a fucking pint, John. You better finish it.
I'm not
Split
I'm
the
gonna
G.
finish it.
That Fonio died so that you could drink this.
The aftertaste is remarkable too. It's sort of got this like sharp, lingering. I don't know how to explain it. Where it's like a taxing vibe on your palate a little bit. Like it's a little bit different than the regular beer. Where after a taste, you're like,
go back and taste.
Like I want to go eat some chips.
Dude, go back and take a swig of the regular Guinness again. It's so soft. It's wild.
Yeah, the original.
She said
It is so like creamy and soft and like mellow.
Yeah.
After drinking those two beers, it's crazy.
It tastes almost watery after drinking the other.
Oh
two
yeah,
beers,
totally.
Honestly,
Yeah.
like you
I
drink
can draw it.
with Jason on this whole carbonation. Like the Extra Stout's just better alone for the carbonation alone. Like I mean,
Right. It holds up.
It brightens up the beer. I really think nitro mutes whatever beer that you put it on. Like you put a beer on nitro and you're getting the muted version of that beer, and I'd rather have the full volume version of that beer.
Yeah.
So, Jason, you're saying Guinness Extra Stout is the winner today?
I think if you're going to buy a Guinness, get yourself a bomber of the Guinness Extra Stout. 50 cents off at Ralph's right now.
Yeah, that's where I got mine.
I got mine at Albertsons, where I have one 5 minutes from my house. I've never been to it, and they have a great beer selection. I got Swami's that was packaged 12 days ago.
That's awesome.
At a fucking Albertsons.
Man, all the Swamis around here are fucking November right now. It sucks.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, you gotta wait.
Boo.
I got some of that the winter IPA though.
Do you want an unethical life pro tip, Jason?
Unethical?
What's that?
Unethical life pro tip is
Sure, go
to take all the old Swamis and then just hide them throughout the store. Just like, nope. And then
Someone's like, I'm looking for some chicken thighs,
put it-
but there's
put
a
it in the
can
back.
of Swamis.
I'll put them.
You take the boxes and you
I'll put them on
it
the
in
hot
bag.
rotisserie chicken, the warmer.
About to cook this shit.
That's literally how you get fresh Swamis in.
So this is how I'm going to finish my regular Guinness. I came prepared.
Oh.
You like
doing it.
Bailey's?
You know what? I'm gonna go get
Joe's
some
got-
Baileys.
Do I like it? I mean, I like it in Irish car bombs.
It's creamy.
I've never had an Irish car bomb. What exactly?
What?
Yeah.
It's half a shot of Jameson and half a shot of Bailey's. I'm using almond milk Bailey's because I don't
Oh.
fuck with dairy. And you just drop it into your Guinness and chug it.
I have neither of those, so I will not be participating.
I got some Malibu pineapple. Do you think that'll work?
I'm not going to drop this shot glass. I'm just going to pour it in because I don't need to fucking bash my teeth.
Don't be a bitch.
Come on, Jason. Okay, fine. Fuck it. I'm very easily influenced.
Yeah, you're fucking madman.
So are you doing it with regular Guinness?
Yeah, the regular Guinness that I have
Okay.
left.
All right.
I don't even know if this is all going to fit in here or if this will. Oh, it did. That's what she said.
Oh, you should have waited for me.
Yeah, Greg went to get a shot to drink with you.
Oh, here. Well, I can do another one. Hold on.
Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah, brother.
I'll do it with the extra stout.
Same.
God, John, you got to have that. It's fucking like a milkshake.
So
Okay.
yeah, I have Bailey's salted caramel.
Salted caramel.
Ooh.
Nice.
Greg, have you ever had the almond milk Bailey's?
No.
It's not bad, dude.
All right. Put that on my radar.
Hold on. a
I'm
second.
This was
drinking
left over from Christmas.
the Cuvee.
Of course it is.
Oh, yes.
I don't
I'll
even
do
know
a Cuvee.
There we
I
go.
drank all the NA, but I mixed the other 3 together.
I'm
gonna
not
do-
putting that in.
Hang on, Greg. Hang on, bud. I'm doing back-to-back car bombs. Fuck it. It's
Well,
Sunday.
if you mix the NA in there, it'll taste more like regular Guinness, but have half the alcohol. So you're drinking like
Greg, are you doing normal
near
Guinness?
beer.
Yeah, extra.
I'm
extra
saying,
stout.
you're doing the
CO2.
extra one? Me too. Hold on.
I think
Stand
it's
by,
gonna be a
playa.
winner. Damn, playa.
Play on, play on.
Cuvee's actually not bad.
Cuvee's pretty good.
All right, Greg, I'm ready when you are, pal.
All right, do it. 3, 2, 1.
Cheers.
Do you think people like new to the show are coming in and they're just like, these motherfuckers don't know how to say cuvee, and they're doing Guinness bombs?
And Genesi.
Man.
Man, that's fucking good.
Isn't that good? Irish car bombs are the shit, dude. They're the
Somebody
best.
asked about Mario in the chat asked about not doing a black and tan. Here's a fun fact: I don't think they sell Bass Pale Ale anymore. Not
Is that
here.
it? Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen that in years. But you can
All
do
right.
it with any lager.
So after
Just black
drinking,
and tan is something I have never had either.
So we did,
oh my gosh.
Mario, we did, I think a while ago, it was Green Monster, right?
Yeah, we did that like last year.
Green Monster, it was like a black and green.
Yeah, that was
The Gonster,
was-
dude.
That was rough. The Gonster.
Yeah, it was dog shit. I wouldn't recommend it.
Oh,
I feel like
God,
I
it
need-
was so bad.
I feel like I need a hoppy beer right now after drinking 4 Guinness and 2 Irish car bombs.
Yeah. Same.
I need a palate cleanser.
after drinking 4 Guinness and 2 Irish car bombs.
I think I need something
Now I
hoppy,
need
dude.
a hoppy beer.
I really need
It's
an IPA to settle that down.
I need a fucking burrito and an
You need to
IPA.
push it down. Just push
Did
it
you
down,
guys
Joe.
do the Cuvee? Greg and Joe?
No. So what are we doing?
Shit,
I
I don't.
just did equal
I'd have
parts
to. I would
of-
have to. I would have to open another Guinness if I did that.
Mm.
Just Cuvee what you got left.
All right, I got.
There
the
we
NA.
go.
I've got some
So I got my Draught. I have my NA.
extra stout and
My
some
Fonio.
Fonio. Hold on.
I'm going to Fonio up Garrett Oliver and tell him what I think about this beer.
Should we chug? Should we chug this? Should we chug the Cuvee too?
Mm-mm.
Gosh, look at the head on that.
I like drinking this Fonio beer because it really does remind me of drinking ancient ales beers, and they were all bad. Like none of them were particularly good beers. But you know what? These motherfuckers chewed up the corn and spit it in there themselves or whatever. Like
That's
Was that the
nice.
chicha?
chicha. Yeah,
I've
and
had
you're just
chicha.
like I
Chicharrones.
I like the experimentation and the creativity because I feel like experimentation in craft beer has just become like what snack
It's
foods
a
can we
rarity.
throw in it? It's no, but experimentation now is what gimmicks can we do? It doesn't feel like they're
I don't
doing
know, man.
like
If you guys go, if you ever go to the Southern California Homebrews Festival, which is happening, I think end of April or May.
I'm gonna
early
go.
May.
Yeah.
Dude, I
John-
had the craziest
John's already
fucking beers
bought
that were
10
all
tickets.
delicious. So like things you've never heard of, and it's always a good time.
We actually drove by Lake Skinner yesterday going to the wineries, and I'm like, all right, now I'm
Oh, Vail
halfway
Lake.
there.
You
Is
made
it Skinner or Vale Lake?
Vail Lake. And
What was
yeah, it's
that
taken
Skinner?
over by KOA, and it's so bougie now. Like there's like fully paved camping areas with like Adirondacks and shit, and like a barbecue grill set up already. Like you don't have to do anything. It's super super fun.
Can I just say I fucking hate Adirondack. Those are the chairs, right?
I'm not a fan of
I
Adirondacks.
fucking
either,
hate
'cause
those.
they're-
I hate those chairs,
especially
dude.
if you got a gut and you're like,
Well, dude, just it's not comfortable to sit in.
those are those big wide like
Like the
Tilted
the
back.
wood chairs
yeah,
that
it's
you like
a
fall back
45
into.
degree
Yeah,
angle
those suck
Yeah,
back.
that shit sucks.
Yeah, Adirondacks are balls.
Fuck Adirondacks.
Yeah, do not buy Bailey's scrumptious salted caramel. It's hot ass compared to the regular.
you like Bailey's.
From a shoe. If I only had a shoe to drink out of, it'd be great.
Greg's gonna take you to a club where people wee on each other.
Dude, speaking of drinking out of shoes, I saw a post yesterday on Instagram where
To a
someone
shoey.
was it BJ's drinking. You could drink beers out of a boat there or something. Do you guys know about that?
They've got a cocktail that's in a bathtub with like a little rubber.
That's what it
ducky
is.
in
Bathtub, not boat.
Yeah, I threatened the bartender that I was going to order it, and she was like, "You better fucking not."
I think it was Derek, dude, from Goal was drinking Jeremiah Red out of a fucking bathtub. And I was
That's
like, what
funny.
is that?
I think like you had to cajole the bartender into that, but they'd probably rather do that than make whatever the fuck normally goes in there.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah,
some
I
sugary
just so happened
cocktail.
I ate lunch at a BJ's like last week when I was in a hotel, so they had a sign for it right in front of me. So
BJ's, it's like the Cheesecake Factory for beer nerds.
So overall, what do we think? Personally stand, I said in the beginning, extra stout is my favorite Guinness, and it's still true. It's the best Guinness.
I think this is the first time I've had extra stout, and I'm a big fan of it. Although I do love the nitro aspect of regular Guinness. I'm just saying.
again, if you want to drink 10 of something, get regular Guinness. If you want to drink a good beer, get Guinness Extra Stout. And if you want to feel like it's 2010 and you're drinking whatever weird thing came out of Sam Calgione's brain, then drink this Fonio thing.
And if you want the lather effect to kick in, get drunk the night before and then have a couple Irish car bombs with Greg Nagel.
And if you want to have some cheese in your pocket and walk around all day, hit up my bro, Garrett Oliver.
Dude,
I'm telling you.
I went to an Irish bar and I ordered an Irish car bomb, and the bartender was very like Irish accenty and was just
that's a fucking.
we don't. I'm not gonna do it, but he was like, we don't call it that here.
What are they called?
Because the fucking Troubles, and they just call them Guinness bombs.
Yeah,
Like Irish
that
people
makes
are like,
sense.
we don't actually like talking about the whole Irish car
People blowing
bombs
up.
thing. It was
He's like,
kind
we
of
called. He's like, we
like-
call those Americans suck.
Yeah, it was like, legitimately a series of like violent attacks that people aren't super jazzed about. So they call them Guinness bombs.
Yeah. My hot take on all these beers, Draught it's what it is, man. Right? It's ubiquitous. It tastes fine. But if there's any lessons learned today, this $4.50 fucking bomber of Guinness Extra Stout for 5.5% might be something that accidentally ends up into my shopping cart.
Hey everyone, John here. Thanks for listening to another episode of Four Brewers. You can go to fourbrewers.com for show notes, past episodes, and photos of all the beers we sample on the show. Go to supporttheshitoutofit.com or patreon.com/fourbrewers to support the show to get some cool perks and the Patreon exclusive supporter glassware that we send out to our supporters every year for free. Watch all of our video content, including my beer reviews, cheap beer corner, and the occasional vlog at fourbrewers.com/YouTube or youtube.com/fourbrewers-show. Follow us on Instagram at fourbrewers and follow us on Untapped at 4Brewers. Go to twitch.tv/4Brewers or 4brewers.com/live to watch the live stream of our recording sessions and some occasional 4B gameplay. Leave a 5-star review of the show on Apple Podcasts because it really helps us with the rankings and visibility of the show in the Apple Podcast directory. And if you have any feedback, questions, concerns, or you want to send some beers our way, email us at feedback@4brewers.com and brew the shit out of it.